On the phone, we have one of the best baseball players of the 80s and early 90s. I remember him vividly playing for the Montreal Expos and Chicago White Sox. This guy was just a terror on the bases and at the plate. Former Expo and White Sox Tim Raines. How you doing today, Tim?
Not bad at all.
I remember you with those Expo teams in the early 80s. I mean, with you and Dawson and Carter and Al Oliver and Wallach. You guys were absolutely dominant there. I couldn't believe you didn't win a World Series. What was it like joining that organization?
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, I didn't really know what I was getting into. You know, I was a high school draft, and I played a couple of years before I was called up to the big leagues after my second full season. So, didn't really know anything about Canada. Didn't really know anything about the French language. And I was there, and it took me a while to get adjusted, but it worked out quite well.
You came up as a second baseman, then they moved you to the outfield. What was the reason for that?
Well, we had already had a second baseman, Rodney Scott, and Ron LaFleur was the left fielder at the time, and he went free agent. And I was the next leadoff guy in line. So instead of, doing anything with the infield, they moved me to left field. And for me, I thought it helped me up. I thought it suited me up a little more as an offensive player to put me in the outfield instead of having me playing second base. But I was quite happy that they moved me out there because I remember playing second base all through the minor leagues and how stressful and tough it was playing on the infield as far as being a leadoff guy. And actually, it wasn't my decision, but I'm kind of happy it happened.
You were a phenomenal stolen base guy. Is there someone who helped you basically learn how to steal bases? Because it's not just all speed. I mean, it's basically knowing when to go, when not to go, timing pitchers. Because, I mean, you were successful like 90% of the time.
Well, I think it was my speed. I think as I got older, I figured out a lot more things about reading pitchers and, paying a lot more attention to pitchers and knowing catchers and knowing, what type of pitches make and just knowing the tendencies. I think I learned more once I got to the big league. Steve Burris was our first base coach when I first got to Montreal, and he helped me tremendously once I got there. But I think before, getting to Montreal, I just felt like it was a part of the game that I could utilize, and it practically helped me get me to the big leagues. The first call up, and from there, like I said, Steve Boyes helped me even more. He taught me how to read, pitchers, and taught me. We started thinking about times and times from the pitcher took from the start of his motion to the plate, and the times that the catcher had caught it and got it down to second base, and kind of had it down to a science. And from that point, it was pretty much up to me. I felt like it was more of reaction. I had a pretty good football background. I think the reaction from playing football helped me as far as reaction to what the pitcher was doing out on the mound.
Was there any temptation to play college football rather than play in the minor leagues with the Expos?
Well, I made the decision to see what I could do in baseball. I was going to give myself, 2 or 3 years in the minor leagues in baseball. The thing didn't work out the way it did. I would have opted to go and play football if things didn't work out. So it was a great decision. I'm glad I went with baseball first instead of going with football first, because I felt like, I was a 17-year-old high school student graduate, and after my first, after I signed in June and played that half season rookie ball, I was still 17 years old. I turned 18 instead of next year, so I thought it was a good decision to make, to try baseball first and then see if it didn't work, go to football. And thank God it worked out, because I don't think I could have played 23 years in football.
No, unless you're a punter or kicker.
Right. And that I wasn't.
Well, how hard was it that 81 season with the strike? I mean, you guys were so successful, and not to be able to make the playoffs and give a chance to play in the World Series.
It was very tough. I mean, I remember after we made the third out against the Dodgers, I remember standing around, sitting on a bench for hours after the game. I mean, I think I had my uniform on the bench for a couple of hours. I mean, the stadium was empty, I think, before I left. But it was even though it was my first year, it was definitely tough. I mean, we had our chances to win. As a matter of fact, we had the bases loaded with 2 outs, and basically we still could have won. So. It was definitely frustrating knowing that. And I actually felt like we had the best team that year. And I felt like if we had beat the Dodgers, they went on to beat the Yankees, I think we would have done the same thing.
The second year, 82, you had some issues. I mean, you didn't play as well. You had the cocaine issue. Do you think that affected your performance?
Well, it affected my performance that year, and I still ended up having a decent year. I mean, it wasn't the type of year that, I'm pretty sure I could have done better, but it definitely has affected, my performances. So I think, knowing that and knowing the situation that I was about to put myself in, my family, and my career, it definitely played a big role in me turning things around.
You became a phenomenal hitter. You led the league in hitting. Did you work on your hitting to become that good of a hitter, or was it just natural ability?
I think it was pretty much natural. I mean, I wasn't a switch hitter until I started playing professional. Until I was drafted by the Expos. So I mean, hitting was something I enjoyed doing. But when they asked me to switch hit, I wasn't real sure about it. And it took me a while. It didn't take that long. Actually, it didn't take that long. I mean, my first year, I switched hit and I batted 280 something, and I was quite surprised myself. But the transition was quite easy. I wasn't real sure if that was going to be what I was going to end up doing, this bigger switch rate. But actually, I felt as comfortable left-handed as I did right-handed, and I was a right-handed hitter. So I think that definitely helped my career because, I didn't have to worry about, hitting lefty against the lefty or hitting righty against righty. It kind of like became, it was really natural to me. And as a matter of fact, I felt like I was a better left-handed hitter, which wasn't my natural side. Than I was right-handed hitter. So I think the decision to switch hit definitely played a big role in how my career ended up.
How hard was it playing on that artificial turf in Olympic Stadium? I know Andre Dawson said it just killed his knees.
Well, it wasn't that bad for me. I think the taller you are and the longer your legs are, it plays a different role on the player. I was kind of short and kind of compact, and I was didn't bother my knees at all. And it didn't bother, at the most it probably, I had problems with my back a little bit, but not that much. So it probably helped me because I was able to utilize the speed that I had. It was like running track out there on that artificial surface, and I think it helped me more than it hurt.
When you were a free agent, you and Dawson, and no one was offering you guys contracts, how hard was that, knowing that you guys were phenomenal players and that all these owners were colluding and trying to limit your ability to earn money?
Well, I was still young. I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. I knew I wanted to be a free agent, but I didn't know, what was going to happen. I think it was taken away from me, the chance of being a free agent and having an opportunity to negotiate with anyone and see what the best contract I can get. I felt like that was taken away from me, but it was actually tough. I mean, I ended up not signing. I ended up signing back with the Expos, and ended up missing spring training and missing the first month of the season because of it. But it was definitely a situation where I didn't really want to go through it the way it ended up happening, and but it all worked out in the end. I didn't get the opportunity to really be a free agent, but I ended up starting back again. Things worked out, but I felt like I was taking this for that I could really create. But that's baseball. You kind of live with it, and it didn't really affect the way I played.
So no one offered you a contract other than the Expos during that time?
Well, I was off a contract, but they were all contracts below what the Expos had offered me. I think it was the first time, and then I can remember in baseball history that the Expos offered me a contract to the rest of the world. So what happened was they offered that contract if the other team knew what they had offered me. So at the other team, they all came in under what the Expos had offered.
How happy were you when you got traded from the Expos to the White Sox, knowing that you were joining a young team on the way up?
Well, it was big for me. I mean, I felt like I had been in Montreal for 11 years. It wasn't like I really wanted to leave. I just wanted to be in a situation to where I could get an opportunity to win. I think in Montreal at the time we were continuing to rebuild every year. We didn't really have the foundation or able to keep the players long enough to try to put anything together as far as trying to win a championship. I got into Chicago at the perfect time. It was a young team, up and coming, and there were only a few players away, and I just felt like it was the perfect opportunity for me to make a move and to get with a team that had a chance to win a pennant or win a world championship, and that was pretty much the reason why I make the decision.
You must have thought to yourself, you know what, I must be jinxed here. Every year we got a chance to win the World Series, my teams go on strike. That'd be difficult for you in '93. You were with the best team in baseball and you didn't get a chance to even play in the playoffs. Or you played in the playoffs, but again, you didn't have a chance to get to the World Series.
Well, yeah, I mean, and I felt like the whole time I was with the White Sox, we had a chance to win just about every year. I mean, with the team that we had, I think each year we were maybe one player away, or one player, having a better better playoffs away from actually getting there. Um, it was a great time in Chicago. 5 years I spent. I think we went to the playoffs 2 of the 5 years. Every year, of course we went on strike, but there was definitely some great teams I played on in Chicago. I'm surprised that we didn't win a championship. I felt like we were good enough to win. It's unfortunate that things didn't work out that way, but I had a great time in Chicago. I mean, we had some great players, we had great teams, we had great staff. I mean, defense. I mean, we pretty much had it all. It just it didn't work the way we all expected it to happen. This thing didn't work out.
When you went to the Yankees and you got those 2 World Series rings, how fulfilling was that?
Um, it's the best. I mean, it took me 18 years. I think it was 18 years um, in the majors, and I go to New York my first year, '96, and wow, win it. And it's the best feeling. I mean, I think unless you go through it as a player, you're a player. Once you go through it one time, you kind of it's the ultimate. I mean, it's the ultimate goal. As a kid, as a player, goal is to win the World Series. Goal is to wear that golden ring. The goal is, to be on a team that is the best in the world at the time. And when we won the first time when I was in New York, it was tough getting there. We lost the first 2 games of the World Series against the Braves and winning the next 4. But I don't think I've ever been so excited about winning something. It's the best. I mean, that's why you play. That's what you work so hard for. That's why you do all the things you can do to be the best that you can be as a player. And when that last out is late, it's pandemonium. I mean, it's like the greatest thing that could ever happen to a major league ball player. I got the opportunity to do it twice.
Do you know it's time to retire when your son's playing in the major leagues with you and he's probably faster than you and can do everything better than you?
Not really. I mean, I just felt like we're 20 years apart, and I was well into the tail end of my career, and we was actually hoping that that I could play long enough for him to make it to the major leagues, and we'd be in the majors at the same time. I mean, that was our goal. It was never our goal to ever, play together because I know baseball. I mean, we can't make those types of decisions as players, and we were very fortunate. I mean, in 2001, the tragedy that happened September 11, we were allowed the opportunity to add another week to the season. The Orioles had a lot of injuries in the outfield, and actually that was his chance of being called up. Was the reason why he was called up in the end of the season. A lot of injuries for the Orioles, and with the week left, I was with the Expos. Like I said, I was still playing the outfield, and it was a perfect storm. It was a perfect situation for the Expos and the Orioles to get together and give me and my son an opportunity to play together. I mean, it couldn't have been a better situation to do it. I mean, I think without doing anything wrong or putting us in situations that they shouldn't have put us into. It was a great chance, perfect opportunity. I was in the tail end of my career. I was with the Expos. My son was just starting out. He had just called up. There was a week left in the season. The Expos always gave me an opportunity to play with my son, and I really want to thank both organizations for allowing us to be able to do that, and I appreciate the opportunity that they gave me and him, and it's one of the greatest things that a father could ever have, is to be able to play with your son. It hadn't happened but twice, myself and the Grizzlies, but that's something that you take to your grave and you're very proud of, and very proud of my son. And it was awesome for the family.
Was there a lot of pressure on him to play similar to how you played? Because, I mean, you were one of the greatest base stealers of all time.
Oh, there's always pressure. I mean, there's always pressure. I mean, there's pressure when you're born. You know, the pressure, especially if your dad ended up being a professional athlete, regardless of what it is. Everybody, the expectations of you being, as good or better, or, whatever. And there was always pressure on him. I mean, I never put any pressure on him, but I mean, I think, it's him being a player, him being the same type of player as myself, the expectations of him being just as good or better. I tried not to myself put any pressure on him for him to know all those things, but I'm sure he knew it was there. I don't think he really felt like it was going to be that tough, but it actually was as tough as he thought it was going to be. And I don't think he tried to be like his dad. I think he tried to be his own player. I kind of wish he would have tried to be more like me. I think he would have played a lot longer, but he turned out being, a pretty good player, right? Even though he was my son, I felt like he was a good player. I just think that he didn't utilize the talents that he had to the fullest, and I think it cost him a chance to play, and it made us for a long time.
Why are you not in the Hall of Fame? I don't get it. Has anyone explained to you the reasoning?
No one has explained it to me. No one has explained it to me. I'm still looking for that reason. I'm just a player. I played 23 years. I played as hard as I could play, and I did some things I felt like gave me an opportunity to be a Hall of Famer. I'm not sure. I mean, I can't answer that question. I know there's a lot of guys out there who felt like a lot of reporters who have voted for me who felt like I deserved to be in, but I just haven't got enough yet. So I'm down to 2 years left. They took 5 away from me, so I'm down to 2 years left on the ballot, and I'm hoping within these next 2 years that if it's meant to be, that it happens. I don't know. I mean,
Is it because of Montreal? Is it because you played the majority of your career in Montreal, or?
Well, I mean, that's the magic. That's the $1 million question. I mean, I don't know if it's that, or if I didn't do enough, or if I didn't play for a more known team for a longer time. I mean, I don't really know. I mean, I can't answer that question. I just hope that in the next 2 years that that give me that opportunity. I mean, it's the last thing on my list as far as my baseball career. It would be the most important thing that would have happened to me in my career. I would love for it to happen. If it doesn't happen, it won't be the end of the world, but it will definitely be something very, very special to me if it does happen.